This is the Gen Y Leaders Podcast. Welcome to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast, where we guide millennials to become the next generation of business leaders and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Eric Huey, and multiple times a month, we bring you interviews from high-performing millennials who are challenging perceptions and changing expectations of our generation. Our mission is to help you overcome fear, take action, and go confidently in the direction of your dreams. It's time to start preparing now, mainly because 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every day, which will create a vacuum of career opportunities that you've been waiting for. Will you be ready? Andrew, welcome to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Eric.
Yeah, my pleasure. Appreciate you taking time out of your day. It'll be a good conversation. So if you could, to start off, just tell listeners who you are and what you do.
My name is Andrew Patch. I am the owner of Heartland Drone Company. Heartland Drone Company provides data collection and creative services with the drone. So we partner with companies of all different shapes and sizes within different industries. But typically the type of customers that we work with are folks in construction, engineering, architecture, real estate, and we use the drone in various ways. We'll go out and capture actionable data through like building inspections. We'll do survey work with a drone if civil engineers need an entire community mapped into a 3D map or a point cloud or a model. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that type of data collection with the drone. But then on the other side of the fence, for creative needs, for companies who want to inject a lot of fun and cool content into their marketing and promotion and business development, we can use the drone to capture high resolution photo and video and then turn that into creative outputs like very nice professional edited photography or industry standard, very highly produced video content. So typically we like to partner with clients and try to help them in both ways at times, maybe collecting data if they're in the construction industry, mapping a construction site, but then also the whole time capturing cool, stunning content that we can help them, get their brand out there and tell the story of a project.
Very nice. What's your why? I mean, you're an entrepreneurial guy. What drives you?
Yeah, good question. So I, way back in the day when I first started working, you graduate from college and now you're in the working world. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like for, 6 or 7 years, I was working for other people. I was helping other people achieve their dreams, which is great. But my why, why do I get out of bed every morning? It's because I want to pursue things that I'm passionate in, and I want to double down on my talents and use those to help people, to help grow business. I am a firm believer in doubling down on what your strengths are and doing something that you feel good about. I have a firm purpose with what I do, and I really enjoy the hunt and the hustle of business development and trying to sell my services. It's something that I believe in, rather than trying to sell other people's services of what I was doing in the corporate world with corporate sales and corporate marketing.
Great. Thanks for the overview.
Yeah.
So today's topic is all about how you can start down one entrepreneurial path or one endeavor and how it can really, pivot, or along the way you realize it can lead to something else. So talk a little bit about that. We've heard a little bit about Heartland Drone. So maybe talk about how that has led to your other company called Brand Hustle. Is that correct?
Yeah, great. So you're exactly right. So I started out with Heartland Drone Company, and Heartland Drone Company has been in existence for like the last 3 years. But as I was going out and flying projects for clients, you go out and you capture all this data, and you're capturing all these photos, all this video, and the client might say, hey, I want a cool promotional video created for my business. Or a real estate agent might say, I need you to go out and fly this property, and then we want to have a cool video to promote the listing, and then some edited photos. That's awesome. It doesn't take me a lot of time to go out and capture the data. What takes a lot of time is editing, and
I can vouch for that.
yeah, right. So I can go out and fly 8 sites in a day, but then I have to edit that content. And in some of those cases, there might be a lot of editing involved. Some maybe not very much at all, but still it takes a lot of time to edit footage. So I got to this point where I was almost meeting like a maximum capacity of what I could accomplish in a day or in a week or in a month, where I was going out and taking in, new accounts and capturing new content, but I was getting to this log jam of not being able to edit the content fast enough.
Right.
So I knew that I could really benefit if I could just take my footage and give it to somebody who knows how to edit content, give them some direction, and have them produce it for me. Because when you have a lot of them to do, it takes a long time. So brand hustle is the new endeavor, right? Yeah. It's not replacing Heartland Drone. I'm still doing Heartland Drone, but I'm also growing this. I'm calling it, in the age of the quarantine, everyone has a pivot project, right?
Yeah, seriously. Yep.
So my pivot project has been brand hustle. So I've been growing this out on the side. I'm creating the platform, and basically what brand hustle is it's a platform designed to simplify the video creation process for companies, and help freelancers earn money while growing their portfolio. So what a company can do is a company can go out and capture their own footage, right? So I'll use a real estate agent as an example. A real estate agent can go capture their own footage of a listing on their cell phone, right? Because cell phones nowadays are a great camera.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah. So a real estate agent can go to a listing and do a virtual walkthrough with their phone, right? Film, video, take photos of the different areas within the house, right? Mm-hmm. If they want to provide that voiceover narration, just talking to the camera. So the agent has this footage. They can get on Brand Hustle website, offload their footage, and then freelancers see that notification that there is footage that is there to be edited in the form of a contest, right? So a real estate agent gets on the site, they create a contest, drop their footage into the contest goes live, and now freelancers for the next, however long the duration of the contest is, 4, 6 days, whatever, for as long as that contest is running, freelancers can access that footage, create their version of what they think the good video would look like. They can read descriptive information that the real estate agent submits when they submit their footage on what they're looking for. If they need text in the video, if there's any certain pieces of, direction or anything that it would be helpful for the freelancer to know.
Yeah.
That's all captured through a form on the platform. And once that information is gathered, it's sent out to freelancers. They can start creating their versions of the video. And then the real estate agent in this example would select the winning video at the end. The winner gets paid, and the client has a great piece of content for their listing. Yeah. So that's brand hustle in a nutshell, with the example of a real estate agent. And that's what I'm building out at this time.
Yeah, that's really neat. It's an interesting concept and one I haven't heard of before, especially in kind of that B2B agent, professional services type realm. So kudos to you for thinking of it and being on top of it.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
I was intrigued by the financial component too. So I'm glad you said that at the end as far as, how they get paid and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I guess what was your, light bulb moment that you had when you were in Heartland Drone and you're like, I need to start Brand Hustle? Walk us through that.
Yeah. So it was the COVID-19, the stay-at-home order, the shelter-in-place, self-quarantine. There's really two things that happened during that time, when all of this hit, right? I had already kind of thought of this concept a while back, but I was always kind of just putting it off on the side because I was so busy with Heartland Drone.
Mm-hmm.
So this concept was always there, and it's been there for the last 2 years. But when all of a sudden the economy shuts down, all of a sudden people are out of work, and freelancers specifically, because hey man, back in the beginning, I started out as a freelancer. I mean, I'm still a freelancer, right? And so if you're a freelancer, it can be tough to go out and do business development. You might be really talented with editing footage or doing graphic design work or whatever, but sometimes business development is tough, going out and doing sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that when the economy shuttered its doors, that freelancers were going to be affected.
Yeah.
And so on one hand, I thought, okay, this concept would make sense right now to help, create opportunity for freelancers to work and get paid while working from their home, right? Yeah. I also knew that businesses still needed to put time and resources into their marketing. So you have companies that, maybe they can't be out in the field working like they normally would be doing, but there's still other elements of the business that need to happen. And so for companies to start doubling down on their marketing while everyone is at home in front of their computers, there's just kind of a shift on focus. Mm-hmm. And so it made a lot of sense or it still makes a lot of sense for companies to start emphasizing more of their online marketing. So I knew that there's a need there still for that type of video content and that creative content. But then the other element that really impacted it was, if I am going to try to sustain as a drone provider, I need to have a resource to where I can use a service like this, right? So all of these things kind of happen at once. And I thought, this is the perfect time to really focus on this and get it rolling.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it sounds like you're not so much trying to transition out of one company to the next, but more so that they'll be working together. One, like Brand Hustle, seems like it would be more passive once it gets to a certain point. And really another revenue stream for you as an entrepreneur, but also, filling that market need that you mentioned. So am I correct as far as keeping both of those alive?
Yeah. They both benefit each other. There's a lot of synergy, and between the two, because with Heartland Drone, I'm capped at how much I can scale, because I get to a point of maximum capacity where I just can't take on more work because I'm busy editing the footage that I have. So creating a platform that can do some of that for me, I'm all for it. That helps me grow Heartland Drone. But then, in parallel to that, creating a platform that can be used by a lot of companies and a lot of businesses, and then also used as an opportunity for freelancers to grow their portfolio and make money while they do it.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity for a lot of growth there too. So they definitely benefit each other.
I meant to ask this earlier, but how does Brand Hustle as a platform, or you as that business owner, make money? I mean, are you taking the percentage of each deal or contest? How's that work?
Yeah, basically there would be right now it's kind of a small percentage of what the client pays to have a contest started. So it's guaranteed payouts. So when a client activates a contest, a majority of that money is used to pay the freelancer who wins the contest. And that amount is there for the freelancers to see. They can see how much the payout is for each contest. We take a very small portion from that, basically just to pay for the web hosting space and the server space to hold all of the video files on. And that's where we have it right now, because we really just want to put everything back into the platform, and we want to put as much money as we can into the payouts. on these contests because we want these freelancers to get paid as much as we can. So we just take out a very small amount to basically keep the lights on with the platform.
Yeah, sounds like a great model.
Yeah, thanks.
So this question, I guess, is for those aspiring entrepreneurs. I think so many times we have kind of that nudging, that feeling of like, man, I should use my skill sets to go do this, but I don't know what industry. Or, on the flip side of that, man, I've been in this industry forever and I have so much just institutional knowledge, but I don't know, like there's something here. Like, what do you say to that as far as kind of like following the nudges and just diving into to do something?
Well, I don't know. When looking back, I've probed and tried a lot of different things. I have tried and failed. I couldn't even tell you the number of ventures that I've tried to start, or at least gone down the path, and then you get to the point where you realize that it's probably not worth pursuing anymore.
Yep.
But you have to follow down the rabbit hole on all of those gut instincts that you have, because they're natural urges or their gut instincts for a reason. And so for people who are, having those types of feelings, but they don't know how to do it or how to start, or they're afraid to, a lot of times fear is the biggest limiting factor on pursuing any of that. You just got to go for it. You got to go for it. I wouldn't ever say like, drop everything you're doing, quit your day job and go for it. Because that can be bad advice. At times it can be great advice. But it depends
on how much your product or service, makes sense and how quickly it's catching on too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you have to listen to the marketplace. You have to listen to the customer. I mean, if you've been in an industry long enough and you see and you understand the customer and potentially who you would be selling to, if you understand that enough to know where your idea would fit in that, then keep going, keep going further and further and listening to what the marketplace is telling you. And then let that guide you, or maybe an easy way to describe it too is, follow the money. Like with Heartland Drone Company, I literally started with a drone that anyone could go out and buy.
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm still using the same drone. There's really no barriers to entry with having a drone business, rather than aside from going out and having your Part 107 pilot's license from the FAA, which is an exam that you take and you get your license. So there's not a ton of barriers to entry to have a drone company. I'm still using the same drone that I bought off the rack, retail. But it's how you identify the need in the market and how you can fulfill that, and what your customer service is like, and how you try to have more and more quality product as you go. So but to answer your question, there's really a long roundabout answer, but you just have to go. You just have to start and be in tune and keep your ear to the rails on what the feedback is that you're getting from the marketplace. And when it gets to a point where you need to take another big step, take a big step. If you get to a point where you maybe could do a pivot, or if you get to a point where you're realizing that it's probably not looking good, then reassess, and maybe you follow another gut instinct, but you just have to go. You have to go.
Where can people contact you if they want to get in touch with you?
You can go to heartlanddronecompany.com, and from Heartland Drone Company on our website, there's a contact us link. So click on that, and you can send me an email or give me a call. So
awesome. Andrew, thanks so much for your time today and all the knowledge and insights you provided for listeners.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Take care.
Thanks.
That wraps up today's episode. We hope to have brought you some valuable key takeaways. Most importantly, whatever you learned, take action on it. Apply it to your life. Apply it to your career. Motivation and inspiration only come as a result of taking that first step. So if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe on whichever platform you found the show. You can also follow us on all the major social media platforms or contact us directly at genwhyleaders@gmail.com. That's GENWHY leaders@gmail.com. Until next time, I'm Eric Huey, and thanks for listening to the Gen Y Leaders Podcast.